This video is brought to you by Guards 2 Chaos in Hell. Stick around at the end to find out more. Welcome back to Yahtzee Tries, where in our first game this week, we'll be having tea with an old friend. The old friend in question being Davey Reedon, creator of the Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide, who's brought us this lovely cozy game called Wanderstop. Wanderstop, it's Potts Red Gnaw backwards.
Get out of it. You'd make a great owl.
I know.
Scoop that shit. Scoop that shit.
Well, those bushes didn't produce a lot of leaves, did they?
Shout to Persona. While
it's impossible to not be aware that it's by the developer of Stanley Parable and Beginner's Guide, if you pay attention to any of the marketing around it, you absolutely should not expect something that's much like either of those games, because instead of a bitingly funny deconstructive satire on linear storytelling in video games, what we get here is a nice cozy indie shop management game about an angry, stressed out person learning to find their center and appreciate what's really important as they wander the garden, plant herbs, brutally uproot them, boil them alive, and devour their essence. My usual instinct is to be nice.
Famous birthdays today. You know who else has a birthday today? Possibly Queen Latifah. And child murderer Casey Anthony.
How does these characters know what an astronaut is? The plot centers around the unstoppable force of a fiercely independent warrior vowing to regain their former glory, meeting the immovable object of a placid tea shop owner who encourages them to calm the fuck down for 5 seconds. I am laughing. Do you know John Connor?
Yeah.
Whee! This is, yes, this is what I like. From then on, Wanderstop presents itself as a sort of immersive, meditative experience where you can go through the slightly complicated routine of making different kinds of tea for the customers, but the game's equally fine with you just mooching around or taking photos or experimenting with the gardening mechanics or whatever you want. Find your own fun, man.
I am not fast at pulling anything out.
Yeah, pyramid.
We need more games that celebrate the act of just giving up. We need to become comfortable with giving up every once in a while. We need more games that are give-em-ups. I guess much as I did with Order 13, I do find something relaxing about the whole procedure of the work simulator. I feel like I need to put in more time to appreciate the story aspect of the game. The first hour was mostly passed in tutorials and trying to unpick the extremely fiddly inventory system. Oh, and the environment felt a bit confusingly laid out and hard to navigate. But I thought the same thing of the town in Stardew Valley at first, so maybe I just need to get used to it. I want to make tea for Uncle Fester. Yeah. I want to make tea for Gru from Despicable Me. You will never escape. I'm going to drop you in this pond. No! We don't know if they swim.
I know how to make plants. Don't patronize me. I will say the game certainly isn't blowing my mind or making me laugh like Reedon's previous games, but that's not the intention. More power to him for not wanting to be defined by his early successes, I guess. You don't want to get stuck making snarky game reviews for 16 years. And our next game was Roguelite Deck Builder, a game I was immediately drawn to at first glance because I was pretty sure it was taking the piss, and I've always had a soft spot for a nice anarchic urine extraction.
Where do they take the piss when they take it? Do they put it somewhere?
All the way to Comedy Town.
Oh, genuine nightmare.
I am husband. We are improving home. You build the deck. You will get money.
This is going to be a weird hour.
It's a game in which you build a deck, as in a wooden one, by repeatedly hammering nails into planks, while being illuminated by a light bulb that seems to activate very unreliably, for it is a rogue light. Yes, we got that one in the end, because being a grown-up who lives in an actual house with his wife, we don't buy IKEA furniture anymore, because we're not fucking students. But when you become an adult and buy your own house, you want to have a really fucking nice sofa. And now I do have a nice sofa. It's a sectional. And yes, I suppose this is a game based entirely around that one stupid pun, but you know what? I kind of love that the barrier to entry for making games is so low that you can quickly put out an entire game based on one joke you thought about for all of 5 minutes.
So the weird thing was, I looked in chat, and then Jess said, and then you snuck into lectures in the afternoon, and so in my mind, I was back at the CCC this morning.
Stop confusing the audience. The audience don't know what CCC is either.
My brain is my brain's like shifting through time.
That's fair enough, because we're fucking building a deck. There's not much else to talk about.
Building a deck.
As for the game, while the process of repeatedly hammering nails into planks is prosaic and right up there with paint drying simulator as something that would look right at home in a spoof advert for a fake game, there are enough quirky little touches to make it interesting from an artistic perspective, like the Cruelty Squad-like approach to the visuals, the weird nails with special rules, and the intriguing, broad overall question of how we ended up in deck-building purgatory in the first place.
What is that? Is that a man? Is that like a... Oh no, the man! Don't put the man in there! Oh no! That's a nightmare. Wait, you can buy stocks on this wall? You can just buy stocks to passively make money.
Hey, perfect nail. Oh my god, an alien.
Ah, get out of there!
Uh-oh, it's a skull.
Oh no, what's it gonna do?
He says, we can't talk yet, it's not safe. Nail me in. Feel free to keep talking about whatever you want. I'm just building a deck here.
You're just out here decking.
Still, as a game, it's occupying an uncomfortable spot between the zone-out post-dad work sim, like Power Wash Simulator or Game About Digging a Hole, and the hilarious quirky physics game a la Arctic Eggs or Surgeon Simulator, and I don't find it a happy marriage. It's hard to zone out when I'm being frustrated by the niceties of swinging the hammer around, and the nuances of how an okay nail hit becomes a perfect one. Yeah, I'm gonna nail you.
Aw, dang.
Possibly become a serial killer.
Whatever buys your time.
Yeah, just one of those weird arty serial killers where I pose the bodies into like crazy art projects for the cops to enjoy.
I think I'd make a really bad serial killer. I told them about the time that I hit something while driving at night, and I just kept driving and I never looked back. So it's pretty nice.
So you might have killed a man. I kind of want to see what happens if you grind up the $1 million to escape, but I feel like I already know it's going to be something stupid, like the deck breaks off the side of the house and runs away braying like a gleeful horse. Our next game was Look Outside, an RPG Maker-style pixel art horror game in which the central premise is to not look outside. Talk about mixed signals. My name is... Ivor. Don't look outside, it's bad. Okay, let's look outside. Ooh. Okay, let's not look outside then. You're a dude trapped in their apartment building while some strange cosmic phenomenon is happening that mutates people into Lovecraftian horrors if they look directly at it. It's supposed to move on after 14 days, and our job is to survive until then, making ventures out into the building, hunting for supplies, and kicking the shit out of former neighbours with your standard RPG Maker turn-based battle system. It's a game that effectively combines visceral horror and dread with the risk-reward highs of a survival RPG as we decide if we're willing to risk exploring one more haunted apartment before we run back to home base for a save, a meal, and a restorative poo. Yeah, I'm gonna brush my teeth. Now I will be acceptable to the hotties. Sure, I'll take a shower. I ain't gonna be a filth pig. Do I need to go potty? Apparently not. Alright, let's venture outside and continue our horrible life. Ooh, chocky bar. I'm very socially awkward. Are you giving me a hint, game? Are you telling me to run the fuck away? Theme-wise, Look Outside isn't going anywhere particularly new or mind-blowing. For starters, the whole premise is basically Bird Box, and there's about 50 pre-existing horror games it reminds me of, most prominently Lone Survivor, Project Zomboid, Fear and Hunger, Silent Hill 4. None of the creepy body horror monsters would look out of place in a Junji Ito comic, or one of those horrifying Garfield memes. Someone bleeding was moving in perfect right angles through this apartment. Oh no! He's brandishing a knife!
You've got a bat, mate. Bat beats knife. He just ran at you and is staring at you. I dig that.
That's why I'm panicking. But the art style and colour choices bring the vibes across as well as could be expected, and while I'm sure I'm going to have a hard time remembering this game's name about 6 months from now, I can't deny that it effectively built intrigue. The ticking clock element helped, really made me curious to know what happens if you just hang around your apartment waiting out the timer. I assume the monsters probably get bored and hammer your door down. Let's murder some more neighbours. Daisy crazy, what the fuck is that?
Jesse, in the edit, I'm going to leave my chair empty so you can do a fade wipe so it looks like I disappeared. I'm back.
Leg it!
Fucking run!
Run, run, it's coming for me. Shit, there's a hole in the floor. Well, now we know to be careful. Criticisms. I did feel like I was getting absolutely showered in food and items and wasn't feeling much in the way of the survival part of survival horror, that is to say, managing limited resources, but I only got a couple of days in, maybe things get tighter later on. Not for the first time, I'm going to have to file this one under need more time to establish a definitive opinion. But for what it's worth, it dropped enough crumbs of intrigue to whet my appetite for an eventual full sandwich. And our final game for discussion is Schedule 1, a game still in early access that I tried largely sight unseen on the strength of it being the biggest seller on Steam the day I was looking for games to try. Oh, it really is Breaking Bad, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's fucking
crystals.
Busy work, it's dad games, I love it. Gonna go and sell all these to high school kids.
This is a drug dealing simulator.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. We are a drug dealer.
Oh my... Do you want anything, Uncle Nelson?
It ended up being an open-world job simulator immersive sim type affair in which you play a low-level drug dealer trying to create their own crime empire in a horrible Midwestern city. Sort of in the area of an early Grand Theft Auto game, but with a focus on business sim mechanics. Oh yeah, he's got the eyes of someone who wants kush. Hey, free dumpster. Hey, Otacon, this reminds me of how we first met.
Check his eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh, there he is. Check his eyes.
Wow, you've got the pinkest eyes of everyone so far. And I came away impressed. It doesn't look like much, that's indie open world job simulators for you, but I could tell at the end of the first hour that I'd only scratched the surface of the game's systemic depth, and yet I was already hooked into the game's initial loops. Grow weed, package it up with a nice bit of contemplative dad game busywork, sell weed. It's a rather pleasant example of a game that eases you in well without getting too complicated too early. And her eyes turned pink. I've created another addict. Now, what gave away that we were up to something? Was it the meth lab literally right outside the house? Just gonna go plant some drugs. I can see just from what elements of the interface are available that we'll eventually graduate to different kinds of drug creation, managing our own network of dealers, and that there's some kind of combat element, going by the baseball bat I was able to equip, presumably to be used at some point against rival criminals or police. Who is making society worse? I'm gonna give drugs to all the men to put lots of money in my purse. I'm a small-time drug dealer in a fresh town with no cash. Alright, time to find the nearest elementary school. That's as far as you can get as a woman. I thought this was set in the Midwest. Very thick eyebrows that touch each other, obviously.
Holy shit. I didn't know there was something above monobrow, it was just headband.
And probably not a very good combat element, judging by the swinging animation of the bat, but I assume that's not the point. It's probably like the combat in the Thief games. It's there for the sake of the game's mechanical depth, but it kind of sucks to use, because if you ever do find yourself having to do it, then you've kind of already fucked up. Those bastards. Is there a way to tell what time it is? Do I need to, equip a watch?
Stare at the sun.
Man, if you can't handle competition, get out of the business, that's what I say. That's not Comic Sans, is it? Haha, you see? That's what we call social engineering. So it's another case of gonna have to play more before I know if I actually like it. It does look like crap, with lots of lazily designed interfaces and teeny-weeny text, but I can't argue with the fact that I felt my hour ended too soon and I wanted to keep playing and sell more drugs to people. Hang on, I think I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, don't do drugs, kids, they're bad.
This video is brought to you by Guards 2 Chaos in Hell, the upcoming turn-based tactics game with extremely simple rules but even more extremely deep mechanics. In order to survive the hordes of the underworld and face the devil himself, you'll need to choose a party of 4 fearless heroes. This includes a crossbow-wielding demon hunter, the brave and powerful warrior princess, and this absolutely delightful curmudgeon of an alchemist.
Oh, I hates it when monsters hit their balls over my fence.
I love him, and that's what he sounds like in my head. The unique battle system has you continually swapping your heroes from offensive front lines to the safety of the back, meaning that you'll always need to be planning one step ahead to
get those monsters off my lawn.
Settle down, Alchemist. Over 160 missions to survive, 8 heroes, each with a deep upgradable tech tree, but only one crotchety old man. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to Steam, wishlist Guards 2 Chaos in Hell. Check out the free playable prologue today because you wouldn't want to disappoint this old codger, would you?
Suggest how many different videos are there?
Well, within an hour of a new character getting added to Mortal Kombat, there's 500 million compilation videos on YouTube. Here's all the fatalities being performed on the T1000. Here's all the fatalities being performed by the T1000. Here's every line of dialogue the T1000 has. Here's all their brutalities. Here's all the brutalities being performed exclusively on female characters because we're weird like that.
Also, Colton on YouTube with their first comments, 2 comments in the channel, and this is the only 2 comments in their history. Hi, and then the second one, I think Marty is Jewish, and that's it, and that is done. That's vintage Colton, if I've ever heard. That's like something Kramer would say. Both Kramer kicking in the door and saying it, and Michael Richards would probably also say it.
I mean, would it matter if Marty was Jewish?
I don't know. Yeah, it's very just Colton. Not sure what we were getting at there, but it's a strange comment, my friend.